Hey guys, how we doing? So we are enjoying my favorite time of year here in New England, which is leaf peeping season. And even though today there's a storm, we've hit a lull right now. It's going to rain again soon. We're going to go for a drive to the coast and see what we can see. So that's the plan. So why don't you come along and we'll see how things go. So this is part of the Togus. You zoom in, you can get a little look for the colors we got going on right now. I will say this, I actually don't mind the rainy days because the colors pop a little bit more. Not that they're that glorious right now, but you get the idea. This wouldn't be a proper tour if we didn't go off the beaten path just for a moment or two. Look how awesome the reds are, though. See how, I love the transformation process. Years ago, well, actually, it wasn't that far long ago. Maybe it was now, seven years ago. I was teaching in Italy, and southern part of Italy, they don't get the change. That's not what occurs for the leaves. It basically turns green, actually, because it's the wetter time of year. And this route did not help us at all. But anyway, what was nice is when I was in Brindisi, my sister, who was living in Massachusetts at the time, she shipped me in a package a couple of the leaves that had changed color. So I still got that touch of fall, which was nice. See all the birds right there? They're plotting something. They're a bunch of herons and some other ones. Well, since the McDonald's didn't have my mocha frappe, we're stopping off at the main landmark. Good old Hussey's largest general store. You'll know what it has. It has wedding gowns, guns, and cold beer. So let's go have a look. I've been here many times, so hey buddy. Whoa. Alright, well, we're inside. Just had an unpleasant exchange with one local, so we're kind of more in the knick-knack area. But it's a really cool store if you ever are in this spot between getting your knickknacks, as I call it, or if you want these signs right here, these are always really cool. And then look, they even have a moose here that can greet you and talk to you. But you know what? The buck stopped here first, folks. Literally, it's right there. Good looking buck. This is also a proper grocery store as well. Compared to some other stores near me, the prices are cost more, but not here. Bigfoot mating area. Might have to buy that sign. Now we're in the hunting section right here. Look at this fox. So you get your fishing stuff and gun stuff over there. You have this really cute moose. And then there's clothes galore. And if you look, and if you were a fan of my channel back in the day, meaning when I first started, you'll note we have this. See? Here comes the bride. And there's your dress. And dresses. I didn't realize it was so big. It's interesting, actually. I'm looking for a winter coat. So now, even though I came up here just to kind of film the dresses for all of 5 seconds, I was like, oh, I should probably see what they have. So this is kind of interesting. Look. These are for keychains. I thought it was a tickling toy at first. Huh. I guess you wouldn't lose your keys. I'm glad I didn't bring my friend, Mr. Jiki. Look at these hats. These are awesome. Alright, so we walked out of the store. There's actually a lower level. I didn't show you any of that. As I said, I got a little rattled. It's funny because when I was in Poland, I didn't really feel as bad sometimes when I'd walk in stores, but here I got rattled because you see that car directly right there next to the gas pump. There's really a gas pump, and I was right next to it. I was standing where that car was, and some guy pulled in. And let's put it this way: he didn't like the fact that I was standing right there, even though there was ample spots for him to go. So he gave me some choice words, and I said, "Hey, I moved out of the way." He's like, "Well, it's a parking spot." I'm like, "Dude, I got out of the way." I like this house right across the street here. It's a little bit run down, but I like the vibe. So this is downtown Windsor. This could be very well Windsor Crossings for all I know. If you go a little bit down, like a mile and a half down, maybe a mile that way, you hit the Windsor School, and 2 miles you hit the famous Windsor Fairgrounds, where they do some of the harness racing. But anyway, we're going to hop back in the car, see what we can find. So as we drive away from the store, I will say I am still processing the gruffness of the locals. And I wish I would say that was the exception, but honestly, in this part of Maine, I don't think people are as friendly as they are in New Hampshire. Yep, I said that. And if I compare it to like Virginia and Maryland, yeah, people just aren't friendly like at all up here. If you do a comparison to different regions in the States, but so is life. So we're swinging down on these, literally these country roads. The idea is we're going to be driving through a little bit of the famous Mennonite and the Amish country in this area. So maybe we might get a glimpse of a horse and buggy, if you will. But in the very least, at least you can see the fall colors on this rainy/cloudy day. As I said, we're really on back roads. Now, I will say one of those strange things for me about Maine, we have it in New Hampshire too, but I've just noticed it more here, is there's this interesting like subset of people. We'll just call them racist, okay? We'll just call it exactly what it is. So you'll note up here on the left there'll be a house that, you know, I don't think it's going to take much for you to agree that these people probably don't like everyone. Well, it's not. That's interesting. They've cleaned up their yard a little bit. Last time I was here, it's a little bit more flamboyant, but you might have caught a glimpse of the Confederate flag hanging, but it was snagged, probably because they knew that I was filming for YouTube, and they didn't want to, get me in trouble. So you note, though, there's definitely like a different vibe in Maine. Just generally speaking, like once you get out of like the bigger cities, you definitely have like your range of houses. Like those are these little, we'll just call them these small little huts, relatively speaking. But then when we get farther down the road on the right, you're going to see like this giant family summer, like a compound, if you will. But I've talked about this before in when I film my video in like Augusta, and it truly is. It's just a weird. Maybe weird's not the weird. Weird is not the word. There's just such a contrast to the disparities between the working class people that live in central Maine and then the seasonal homeowners that come up from Massachusetts and Connecticut who have big dollars. Yeah. And frankly, I find it a little bit depressing. I mean, there's houses, well, not houses, but where I am, when I'm driving away from work, like I now see like the different tent sites of people that are living behind gas stations and stuff like that, and it's sad. We're living in a difficult world, difficult times, and and that's just how things are. Here's what I dubbed the rich stretch. So they got their fields to the left over here, and nice colors. And then if I go slowly enough, and granted, it's not a mansion, but I'm saying relative to like other things that you see on this, there's a lake right to our right. But I mean, that's someone's summer home. And then farther down, you get the same thing, just more of the same. Look at all the sumac, the bright redness to it. Love it. I like the yellows and the oranges. Now, they're going to say this isn't near peak, but it's pretty close around here. So, if you look right here as I drive by really slowly, this house has really gotten ready for Halloween. Awesome. Now look at that red. So we are going down to Long Pond here on the Sheepscot River. I've only been down here once. I took my car down here maybe a summer ago, but I figured we might as well look at the water and then we'll carry on to our next stop. Good times, right? Ooh, it's pretty. Last time I was here, it was like I couldn't even get over here because it was covered with boats and stuff like that. But look at that. Actually, last time I was here, this spot was all rocks. So they spent a little bit of money and they made this really nice, actually. Cool. So, yeah, let's take a look down here. The fact that now we're in Columbus Day or Indigenous Peoples Weekend, depending on which circles you're in. Some people still have their boats in the water, but for the most part, it's a quieter time. And can you see the heron going that way? It's funny, when I was a kid, I thought that heron were very rare. And then I realized that because I live near the water, there's more of them than I would expect. Is this a pretty spot? The water's higher than I would think it would be, but honestly, it's rained for the last 5 weekends. So it's still been pretty wet around here. I wanted to point out, though, like, look at this cool rope swing right here. Oh, there it is. I don't know if you can see it. What a pretty spot. These people are blessed, huh? All right, well, let's go. Next stop. I have no idea where our next stop is. It could be the, I don't know. I was gonna say something, but I knew I'd mispronounce it. So we're leaving the Sheepscot River. I have no idea how they got that name, and we're heading towards the ocean. I don't know if you can see the sign up ahead, but that's the Amish sign. We're gonna hang a left though because I realized I want to go the most direct way. Took a quick right at the right before we headed more into Jefferson, and found this little, we'll call it this cabin area. It's a private area, and yes, I'm on a private road. I know, but it was too good to not show you the lake. And I guess all these people, these are all camps, so these are not year-round homes. I mean, there's a couple of them, of course, but I don't know what that is in the water right there. Is it a dredge? Wild turkeys. Don't know if you caught them or not. The car in front of us, their license plate is Dr. Cool with a K-O-O-L. Well, Dr. Cool, you're doing a great job. You're going 7 below the speed limit right now. And note, the weather is getting a little bit more mucky. So pretty out. As Lady Luck would have it, I actually am on the correct road. I wasn't sure at first, but if you look down there, it's water. goes to the Atlantic Ocean, actually. So we're in Waldoboro right now. I'm going to cross the street very carefully. I want to show you this cute little church that I have pulled off to. First of all, though, check out this. You got an apple tree right here. Very, very cute. There's some farms littered across the way. And look at this cute church right here. It's lovely. The West Waldoboro Community Church. And, as I said, looking directly across is a beautiful water view. It's awesome. So we're heading that way. And we're heading towards a famous lighthouse, the Pemaquid Lighthouse. I didn't even know we could do this, but look at this. Look what's unlocked. Oh, this is awesome. Look at this cute little chapel. Oh, how delightful is this? It's beautiful. And then look what they did. In the background behind this is, they turned on some lights, but here's the little place where the minister or the priest, I think it's the minister, sits. Oh, it's so quaint and cute. So talk about your community church. It's so cute. And they even have there's a little for their coffee right here on the side. Little mini fridge. Wow. Got the hymns up on the wall. It's got a really nice vibe inside here too. I like it. And look at this sign up here. It says, "I will make fishers of men." Cool reference. All right. We're on this older road, you can tell, because the road's narrow. And we're heading down towards the lighthouse. Wasn't that cool seeing the inside of that cute little church? That's awesome. That was a nice highlight for me. Ooh, there's an alpaca farm right to the left. 2 miles. Definitely on a country road. It's it's peaceful. It's quiet. I like it. So we're in Bremen. Bremen now. Bremen. Leaves aren't as vibrant down here, but they're still changing. They're still getting close. So we continue to follow 32. This should be like you can tell this is the only road over this peninsula, or it's the main road over the peninsula, but it's so windy. And there's a beautiful spread of houses, though. Granted, some have been built more recently than others, but it's a very scenic and picturesque road. And the road itself reminds me a lot of when I was 15 years old, learning how to drive. This is the type of road that my dad would have my brother and I learn to drive on, because it's windy as heck, and as much as you want to go over the speed limit, you really can. So it's good for learning. You don't have the traffic to deal with either. So it's just, yeah, good road. So now we've crossed into Bristol, past Poland Farm, of all places, as you just saw. And I think we're almost there. Well, we have a giant rooster right there. And then here's the Mariners Lounge. I saw this cool little thing. We're going to go take a look. So here's the Washington School. Look at this. Isn't this cute? This was the school back in the 1800s. And I assume it's probably someone's house now. I don't know for sure. But I figured while we're here, we would just pull off the side of the road. And I'd also show you this. There's a little shoreline with some restaurants as well. We'll have to hit that on the way back. But this little fishing village is really, really cute. So first of all, let's get our dates right. With that school right there, That was the school from 1885 to 1954. Too cool. I don't know why that's my word of the day. Now look at this little harbor view. It's very, very cute. And it actually is. The harbor is right there on the other side. And they have all these like Victorian style homes. Now look at this right here. This church is the Little Brown Church. And it was founded in 1853 because this part of Bristol is Little Brown Village, I think is what I saw it read as anyway. I'm an awful tour guide. It's not Little Brown Village. That would sound weird. It's Round Pond, Maine. So we're in Round Pond right now. So this part of Bristol is Round Pond. Sorry about that. Let's see if it's open. Wouldn't that be cool if it was like a 2 for 2 getting into these churches? Oops. Let's see. No. It's locked. It was worth a shot though. So Little Brown Church, Route 33, Route 32 in Round Pond. It's funny, I feel like when I'm in, it's not even about doing research in these places. I think sometimes I just read a sign and I think of it one way, and then when I go to say it, it ends up being something else. And I just saw another Massachusetts car. Go back home. It's funny, I didn't see any Massachusetts cars for like 3 weeks, okay? After Labor Day. So for the last month. And now magically, because it's a long weekend, even with the storm, now they've come back. Look at this cute house right here that they're doing some work to. It looks like a nice writing spot. So this house is for sale if anyone wants it. And little antique place, little general store, and I don't know if I'm going the right direction or not, but this is the water. I was just looking at the map and I was like, oh, where we're going farther south from here, there's a different way back. So I was like, oh, we'll just have to cut down here and take a look for ourselves. And it's a little bit longer than I wanted to for a walk right now. But here's the Round Pond Lobster Co-op. And actually, you know what? Let's get out real quick. Yeah, so the rain has come, sadly. But look at this right down here. See, you have this, you got the docks right here. You got all the lobster traps. And this is Round Pond Lobster, which is the actual co-op where the lobstermen gather their crop, if you will, and sell them. And if you pick your times right and you know when they come in, you can buy it. You can buy your lobsters directly from these guys. But here's the harbor. So this is like a real fishing community. You can also see how low the tide gets. But here you go. So this is Round Pond. It's pretty, huh? For many, you know, lobstering is the lifeblood of the Maine coast. Without people being able to be lobster fishing, you know, a lot of families wouldn't have any money. And where you get like your summer people who will only like do lobster fishing during that high season, many of the guys that are here in this section of the Maine coast, especially the ones that also live farther off these points, they do it year round. So it's pretty cool. There's that word again. All right, back in the car we go. We're almost to the Pemaquid Lighthouse. Wow. Beautiful. So we made it down to the right area. Just a matter of almost getting to that point. And yeah, rain continues to pick up. Speed limit's slower now, though we're at 25. It's interesting seeing the number of houses that are for sale. We continue to see larger quantities, but it makes sense. There's another New York plate. We're gonna get a water view again coming up right here. Wow. There's the Hotel Pemaquid that I just cut through in a very poor way. But let's check out the lighthouse, folks. This is where we drove through. This was the reason for the fun. Well, we got a couple of things going on. Number one, it's packed with New York plates. New York cars everywhere. Not cool. Number two, they charge. And that was not my intention. My goal was not to go to a place where I'm going to have to charge, where I have to pay. So we are taking a side road away from the lighthouse, and we're going to look at the rocks on our own. So I will just drive slowly, and we will get this view independent of any surcharges. There is a gift shop right next to the lighthouse, and they were charging I don't know. It just looked like a bunch of people just hanging out, having their beverages. Here you go, though. Here's your view. This is why we came down here. And if you look over that way, there's the lighthouse right there. There's the lighthouse house, and there's the rocks. And, yeah, lucky us. And meanwhile, on this really narrow road, you have these, really expensive houses. I was trying to see maybe if there was like a little park to get off at, which I'm looking for still. I'm hoping with my main plates I'll be able to kind of sneak off and do that. But see, this is at Virginia. Look at that house. It's pretty. I'd never been to this part of Maine before, so I didn't really know what to expect, but it definitely has more of like the York Harbor and Ogunquit, that type of feel. I mean, there's certainly a lot of money right here. It's all private ways too. Oh, I don't even know. I literally just pulled off. There was like this dirt road right here, and I saw someone parked, and I was like, I guess I'll drive here. And it says no overnight parking, so I guess I'm okay. But yeah, so let's go for a little walk. This is all because, yeah, I didn't want to pay. But you know what? I think this is a cool spot, because look at this. So we have people's backyards, but then we turn, and voila. Look at what I found. All on my own. It's beautiful. I see the person who parked. They're down there. Maybe they're maybe they're picking up clams. Who knows? But anyway, there we go. Now, if you go that way, directly that way, I don't know if the water separates, but Booth Bay is that peninsula. And this really is the Atlantic Ocean. And if you go down, so I don't want to go too far over, because honestly, yeah, there's some giant rocks right now, but if you go out, you just smell it in the air. It's nice. So may this be a lesson to you guys. If you drive down to the Pemaquid Lighthouse, if you do a little, if you want to be cheap and not deal with the tourists, but actually have a quiet moment take the side roads. If you didn't want to take my little path through the sumac, look at this right here. They have for people that are disabled, you have this view. You don't have to climb down on the steep path right there. And instead, you can just look out right here. Awesome. Away from the downtown area, heading away from Bristol, even though we're in Bristol, found this beautiful park. Look at this. This is a swimming hole, actually, and it's interesting because I guess you can jump off the rocks and go right in the water. And they said you swim at your own risk, but look how beautiful this is. Yeah. Like, I don't care right now about the crowds or the lack thereof crowd. Well, yeah, the crowds for me. As an introvert, like, this is beautiful. This is awesome. And look, see, then it cuts down that way too. So if you have your canoe, you can just kind of choose your spot. I wish I was a canoe person. But honestly, as much as I want to be one, my back, I've had back issues for years, and it always gets re-aggravated when I use one. With canoes, kayaks, all that fun. Now, if it was a warmer day, it's only like 60 degrees, this would be a great spot to go swimming. Probably right here, actually, because they have another sign. They say, swim again at your own risk. So we'll climb up. Let's take a look. Oh, this is like the perfect swimming hole. And again, I assume there's nothing down there. So yeah, you just jump right off this rock. Well, I mean, you got to be careful. Kids probably use this as a slide. But this is just beautiful. It's kind of funny. I was just pulling off because I noticed it said park, but I didn't realize it would be this cool. Because look what else I found right here. So you got this nice big vantage point right here, but then welcome to Gary's Island. It says caution, bees, stay clear. Are they telling the bees to stay away from us? Look at this. Oh, this is so cool. What a pretty time of year to do this. The bees are probably underneath the decking is my guess. Ooh, a little bit of roots here. Look at this though. So this is the island. Wow. Now that tree has some character right there. Oh, this place is beautiful. And some of you might have thought that our journey was over after seeing the ocean, but no, this is great. So again, there's where we parked. The swimming hole right here. No idea what that is. I think it's a rock. Yeah, it's a rock. Oh, what a beautiful day. Huh. Look at that little bit of heaven right there. For our romance people, you take a canoe through that on a day like this. Wow. So, I think now is a better place to stop. So I just want to say thank you for starting up at Togus with me, looking at some of the leaves, driving down through Windsor after our stop at Hussey's, or however heck you pronounce it. Drove through, took some windy roads through Jefferson, swung down through Waldoboro. This is for people that want to do this drive. To Round Pond, Bristol, Pemaquid Lighthouse area, and then now we're back here in Bristol, getting out of Dodge, if you will. And I'm here at Jack's Island, and I'm going to take a few minutes and just chill. So, thank you, and I'll see you guys again soon, all right? Peace.